On the buck stops here this evening, Dayanidhi Maran has resigned after meeting the Prime Minister. The resignation was inevitable, but could it have come sooner? Our debate, why does the UPA always try to fix things after they're broken? Yes, a series of ministers and politicians have been shown the door. But isn't the UPA reacting in a sense after the event? Why is its action always too late for it to make a difference to its beleaguered image? Also coming up later in the program, President Obama has wrapped up his first Twitter town hall. Can you imagine an Indian Neta doing the same? Of course not. Are Indian politicians communication dinosaurs? That's going to be our other big debate tonight. You can take part, of course, in our debate and our show online. Our webpage, ndtv.com/buckstops here is now open for your comments. You can, of course, tweet me as well. My Twitter handle is @ptat, and we'll run the best tweets through the length of the debate. All right, but before we get to our main debates this evening, some breaking news from the JPC on the 2G scam, a 2G scam that is returning again and again to haunt the government. My colleague Rahul Srivastav has the details on a rather contentious deposition made by the Economic Affairs Secretary before the Joint Parliamentary Committee. A deposition, Rahul, that actually spoke about meetings between Mr. Chidambaram, the present Home Minister, but the former Finance Minister, and Mr. A. Raja. Meetings that the Economic Affairs Secretary interestingly said there were no minutes of. Now, Rahul, in itself, when ministers meet, there aren't actually minutes that are taken down. Minutes are only taken down when GOMs or cabinets or EGOMs meet. But what is raising eyebrows is why did the Economic Affairs Secretary raise this at all? Is this pointing yet again to a proxy war that is played out quite publicly within the government? Is this, in a sense, a response to what had come to be known as Pranab Gate, the bugging controversy?
Yes, Baka, there is certainly the government's corridors of power are abuzz with it, primarily because the opposition, perhaps, and also the conspiracy theorists are trying to say that perhaps this is Pranab Mukherjee's reply to what had transpired. But importantly, let's look at what really happened. The Economic Affairs Secretary was supposed to depose, and making a presentation, he gave a detailed chronological list of events, what really transpired as far as the 2G spectrum allocation in the Finance Ministry is concerned. And in that, one of the elements was that after the issue of license, there was a series of meetings between the then Finance Minister and the then Telecom Minister, Mr. A. Raja. When the members wanted to know what exactly transpired in these meetings, in his deposition he said that there are no records available. At that time, the opposition perhaps realized that this is a huge opportunity to perhaps also talk about, one, the proxy war within the government, and also to pin Mr. Chidambaram, who was the then Finance Minister. And using that opportunity, they started asking that why exactly for this kind of crucial issue of as per spectrum allocation pricing concerned, why there were no minutes. Now the crisis here is that the government is very clear that only for EGOMs, that is empowered committees, then the group of ministers and cabinet meetings, minutes are kept. When government and government functionaries who have been in power also know, but certainly eyebrows are raised in the government that if this is the issue that minutes are not kept, why exactly did it figure in the as far as the deposition of the Economic Affairs Secretary is concerned? And certainly in the coming days, there's going to be a lot of talk about it.
Well, the intrigue within the government and within UPA too just seems to multiply every day. Rahul, on the one hand, you have the BJP who's clearly targeting Mr. P. Chidambaram, and then you have the Economic Affairs Secretary making these contentious remarks about his tenure as Finance Minister. Certainly does point to some kind of rumblings within rather than without. Thank you so much, Rahul Srivastav, for bringing us up to speed on that breaking story, the JPC deposition of the Economic Affairs Secretary. All right, let's now take you to the other key political development this evening, the exit of Dayanidhi Maran. It was inevitable once the CBI status report spoke about Dayanidhi Maran using an element of coercion in his dealings with telecom company Aircel. Dayanidhi Maran submitted his resignation to the Prime Minister. But we go deeper beyond the resignation to ask a fundamental question. Why does the UPA only fix things after they're completely broken?
The Prime Minister was waiting when Dayanidhi Maran walked in with his resignation. But why did the Prime Minister wait? Wait yet again while dealing with the men in his cabinet, faces of corruption in public life. The Congress says they are examples of UPA's commitment to accountability. But those who have worked closely with Manmohan Singh defend his timing and say the problem lies in the mandate Dr Singh has been given.
The essence is that the political authority that the Prime Minister must exercise, that is unable to do because of the nature of the political arrangement. The Prime Minister is not just a political leader. He's not just a leader of his own party. He's a leader of the country. And thereby there is a certain authority that he has which he then puts at the disposal of the government to take certain difficult decisions. I think that is the real challenge.
Match this with what the opposition says about the crisis UPA 2 faces when it comes to dealing with events that happened in UPA 1.
You can't have a government run on this awkward structure where the Prime Minister is not the real source of authority. The power lies somewhere else. Democracies don't run on this pattern.
In UPA 1, this charge would have raised a storm. But UPA 2 is different. Insiders quote 3 critical instances since 2007 when the Congress party indicated to Dr Singh that his mandate did not include comprehensive political authority. August 2007, left was opposing the civil nuclear deal. Manmohan dared the left to withdraw. The Congress expressed displeasure. May 2009, Manmohan didn't want T.R. Balu and A. Raja in his cabinet. Congress prevailed. Raja became minister. July 2009, Manmohan Singh's Sharm el-Sheikh initiative faced Congress disapproval. Sources say that's what perhaps made the PMO's political authority secondary, as indicated in the cases of Maran, Raja and Kalmadi, who despite specific charges against them, escaped action for long.
The issue is why Prime Minister waited so long.
But the Congress contests this.
I don't think it lies in the mouth of the opposition to be at all making these statements.
The coming crisis for the UPA is that to amend its image. It needs to back Singh's cabinet reshuffle, and delays will once again fuel charges of a rudderless government headed by a Prime Minister with no authority.
जैसे प्याज का छिलका, एक छिलका निकालो 2G स्कैम, दूसरा निकालो राजा का स्कैम, तीसरा निकालो मारन का स्कैम. अभी CAG ने जो बताया तेल कंपनियों के बारे में कितना घाटा हुआ, तो ये तमाम मुद्दे हैं. प्रधानमंत्री को तो जवाब देना ही चाहिए.
After Mr. Maran's resignation, a snide remark I heard at the BJP headquarters today was that in UPA 2, every time a minister is on his way to Tihar jail, he takes a detour and drives into 7RCR, the Prime Minister's residence, with his resignation letter. The opponents of the UPA 2 are fueling and enjoying the perception of disarray in the government. But it is also a fact, and inferences are being drawn, questions are being asked, that till the time Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the chief executive of the country, does not emerge as the political leader of the country, this disarray in UPA 2 will continue. With Sandeep Phukan in Delhi, Rahul Srivastava for NDTV.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. NDTV.com/apps.